So I've learned a lot about these brood 10, otherwise written as brood X 17-year cicadas. And this is what one looks like just as he's come out of the ground. A little cold for him today, but you can see he's spent the past 17 years in the ground feeding off of plant juices, so feeding off of tree roots and plant roots. And now he's coming out to hatch. The brood 10 is the largest brood in the United States and will be hatching in parts of Ohio this year. So this is what they look like just before they crawl up and start to split out of their shell. So I've learned a lot about the 17-year cicadas this year. We are in Northwest Ohio, where part of brood X, or brood 10, is what it actually is called. Brood 10, Roman numeral X, is going to be hatching this year. So this is what one of these 17-year cicadas looks like just after he's crawled out of the ground. So he's going to crawl up on a hard surface here shortly, split open that shell, and hatch out into an adult cicada. So this guy has spent the past 17 years in the ground feeding off of plant juices. So basically the sap in your trees and your plants. So here is brood 10 cicada just coming out of the ground, making his climb up so he can hatch out of his exoskeleton and turn into an adult. So this guy has made his way up, and you can see his hatching out of his shell. They tend to do this at night. It's going to take him a while to hatch out, and then his wings have to fully form. So these brood X cicadas, brood 10, are the largest brood in the United States. So we have quite a few cicadas hatching out tonight. You can see some are just starting. Some have made their way up, but haven't started splitting open yet. If it gets in focus there. Few have already hatched, and some are working their way out. So this is the brood 10 that is beginning to hatch here in Northwest Ohio. The weather's warm enough again for them to start making their way out of the ground where they spent the past 17 years. Brood 10 is the largest brood in the United States and covers one of the largest areas in the United States with the largest population. So as humans, we get to interact most with this brood. Get a close-up of this guy starting to hatch out. Quite fascinating. It's amazing how they're white when they hatch out, and then as adults they're going to be dark in color. So by morning this guy will be fully developed and ready to head up to the trees to start calling and attracting a mate. So these cicadas only live for a couple weeks, where they then will breed and die. The eggs will be laid in the ends of twigs. Eggs will hatch out, drop to the ground, burrow down into the ground, and live for 17 years when the cycle starts all over again. So here are what the holes look like that the cicadas hatch out of. And as you can see, as you look along the ground is scattered with the wings of some adults. So the cicadas, when they hatch out in these large broods, they actually serve as a large source of food for many predators. Dogs, birds, coyotes, all different types of critters. So the brood 10 or brood X is the largest brood of cicadas. There's 15 different broods across the eastern U.S. There's actually 2 broods that they say have gone extinct due to environmental change and habitat loss. But this largest one is hatching right now. Where the soil is warmer sooner, they've already hatched out here in northwest Ohio. The hatch is just beginning. You can see we have quite a few tonight that are coming out. And by morning, these guys will be all hatched out of their exoskeletons and turned into adults with their red eyes, dark color, and will start their mating call. Fun fact, the mating call of a cicada can range 96 decibels, which is louder than a lawnmower, louder than a jet engine. They don't really do any harm to animals or anything. They serve as a source of food. They can kill the branches, the outside branches of your trees as they lay their eggs, but other than that, really no harm, just a really neat phenomenon to watch. Get a close-up of this cicada hatching out. This is the guy we've been watching most of the night, and you can see he's really starting to make his way out of the shell. So if you see round holes in the ground, what you're seeing are where the cicadas have come out of the ground. Sometimes there'll even be chimney-like structures. You can also see there's a lot of wings from adults from the past couple of days when they've hatched out. These adults have all served as a source of food for another critter.